This one's fun to climb, but boring to look at. So I did this instead and textured it. And I'll show you how to do it too. Let's go. This is Rock On Dad. I'm Steven, husband, father, pastor, and this is what I do on Monday Fun Day. Howdy, it's paint the wall day. First step's take off my holds, and then I'm going to cover it in a layer of primer. And while that primer is still wet, I'm gonna blow play sand onto it to give it some grit, cover it again in primer, and then paint it. I'm gonna show you the whole process step by step for this wall. So let's start by taking off all the holes. I've painted a little test section down here in the corner, and so far I have sprayed onto it sand. But as you can see, the sand sticks well to wet primer, and I'm spraying it on with this little tiny spray thing I picked up for 40 bucks on OfferUp, and I'm using a bottle with a little hole drilled into both sides right there. Air tool taped on this side, definitely on the ghetto side, but it's filled with Child's Play sand. And when I turn on the spray sand out, as you can see. So you just point and shoot. It's time to apply the primer. This is just a normal Kills 2 primer that I got from Home Depot. And I'm applying it fairly quickly and fairly thick as well, just using your standard roller. Now that this is done, I've got my sprayer that I just showed you, and you really want to get to it while it's still wet so that the Child's Play sand sticks pretty well. The sand was only $7 for a 50-pound bag, so it's basically no price whatsoever. And the spray contraption's working well. It was getting jammed a little bit as I went along. Get to pick at it, keep it going. Here I'm doing the second half. Just want to keep going quick so that way it's wet for yourself to get the sand on. Time to throw the sand, the texture on for the second part. Still one cut video, trying to get that going pretty fast here. Picking at it. Now you're going to see in just a second that my thing just keeps jamming up, and so right now I'm trying to fix it back on the wall, and I get about fed up with it right about here, and I just start throwing sand because I'm like, okay, that's enough. You can see the time pressure on painting and spraying. You got to key it, spray while it's wet. It's really made a mess. I've got a lot to clean up. Oliver, can you point the camera down here? Show the mess on the floor. Yeah, see all the sand over here? I mean, it's a mess, so I've got to clean that up. That is the result of me throwing it. There's still sand everywhere, but there's a lot more right here. So, it's time to clean up, let it dry, then I can apply the second coat of primer, and then paint. So here we go. Turn it off, turn it off, turn it off. Life's always better with kids, letting them blow some bubbles here. You'll notice it's nighttime now. I had to give it quite a few hours to dry, otherwise the sand would just flick right off the wall back onto me, and you don't want that. You want the sand to settle in nice and then cover it up with the second coat of primer. The second coat's really important. It helps lock the sand in, otherwise it just comes off with your toe as you drag it on the wall, and you don't want that. So, second coat. Hi Mabel and Lucy. I have finished painting the wall with the primer. Just used Kills 2 primer down there. Used about 3/4 of a gallon on this wall, which is a 10 by 10 wall. So 3/4 of a gallon will get you 10 by 10, 100 square feet. And 2 coats, of course. And you can see when you get up real close how tacky it is. And now it's still wet, I touch it, but all of this right there is super tacky. It looks great. The wall used to look like this one, right? Nice, it's really smooth, no texture whatsoever, very slippery. And now I've got some wonderful texture on there. What do you think, kids?
Perfecto!
You excited about it? A lot of potty talk in this video, guys. All right, we decided to paint this one at the same time. So we're just showing you a little bit. We won't do the whole thing on camera. Got some fresh white paint. And then we get the fun job of sanding it. And we discovered it is way more fun to just throw it than to use the loud machine. This is how you add texture. Ready? Here, Ollie, help me out. Makes a mess, but it's super fun. Girls, wanna come? Editor's note, this was way more fun and way easier than using my air contraption. especially on this overhanging roof. So you got two options, throwing and spraying. Both will work, and both will make a mess.
Bye.
That's how you sand a wall. Selfie time. All right, next steps to put up the tape and start painting. We have put together 3 different designs for what we're gonna do. This is the one we picked. So we're gonna put tape on there to match that and then paint it the 3 different colors. Just a hint of orange. We got a sample for $5 at Lowe's, and the 2 color grays I already have. So that's what we're gonna use. Putting up a bunch of the tape, real simple. Doing a double layer on top so I can do an orange line and a white line for a cool kind of sun reflection vibe off the mountaintop. That's what I'm going for. Okay, the bottom is ready. I'm gonna get on the ladder and put in the sun. The outline is fully taped. I already taped off and painted the sun. You can see the orange just creeping into the picture there at the top. Right now I'm just pushing down the edges of my tape, hoping that keeps the bleed from occurring. What I learned in doing this is that bleed happens when you roll over the tape, as I'm doing right now. The best way to avoid bleed, as I learned later, is to start with your roller on the tape and roll off of it. Never roll onto the tape, always start on it and roll off. So these paint right here are the only ones that are going to have some significant bleed. All my future paint efforts on this wall appear much better. This is the darker one. It looks really sharp. This is just common house paint. I had leftover siding paint. This is the siding of our last house that we owned. And now I've got some extra gray that I'm going to be using. And I don't remember where this came from, but this was extra. I think, oh, this is interior paint at my other house. So the darker gray is exterior, the lighter gray is interior. They both work just fine. I've had no problems with them. It really makes it look sharp. Last pro tip. When you're rolling over the T-nut holes that you've already drilled, as I'm doing here, you don't want to press in or get paint in those holes, so just roll over them quickly. And if you do get some in the holes, just grab a paintbrush or a finger or a paper towel and just kind of wipe it out. You don't want to get those in the grooves of your T-nuts. Here it is done on this side. We're about to transition to painting the opposite side, but first wanted to show you my boy making the very first ascent on this freshly painted wall. Another great reason to give your wall texture is that it keeps the holds from spinning. No more spinsies. There you go, buddy. Well done. All right, I've got a nice hexagon taped up. The tape job was actually kind of hard. You had to do lines vertical, 3 lines, 1 here, 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 and so forth, and you cut out, and then you do it again this way and again this way, and you cut out the middle of the hexagons then. So that's why you kind of see clumps of paint. There's tape everywhere. We're gonna put up purple, and I've got told Lucy since she picked out the purple, she gets to do the first paint. So Oliver, please hold the camera and film Lucy putting on the first bit of purple. You excited? All right. Watch out for this. It's gonna be, oh my goodness, what a color. Okay, you ready, sweetheart? Okay, there, go ahead, put it on, right up there. Turn it over. What? It's like the purple crayon. Wow, okay, good job, sweetie. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and fill the whole thing in. It's gonna take forever. It's a little brush. Ollie, go ahead, and we'll just, here, how about Lucy, can you clap? No, just do one big clap. It is a gorgeous bright purple. Also did the kickboard, and now I'm gonna throw on a time lapse and paint all the grays. Dang, it's coming along. I just need to do some orange and some orange, and this hexagon's all done. Hopefully it will look less like a soccer ball once the orange is up. We'll see. Either way, it's pretty fun. This this gym turned out really well. It's gorgeous, it's fun, and the texture is amazing. You know, something else that's gone really well for me is following Jesus Christ and making him savior of my life. My life was ugly. I was a lying thief, lusting, adulterer of heart. I was a bad dude, and I gave my life to Jesus, and he changed me. It's like the paint on these walls. I went from an ugly, dirty, old climbing gym to something new and beautiful and totally useful. He made me clean, and he can do the same for you. If you'll recognize that you're a sinner and turn from those sins and put your trust in Jesus Christ. He died on the cross to save you, and if you'll turn to him in faith, believe he died and rose again, you'll be saved. So I'll point you to that. There's a video at the end you can watch if you'd like. I'm going to be putting out some other videos soon too about how to make volumes, how to design a climbing gym in your rental, and some other great stuff. So do like and subscribe. I would be grateful. Hey, to subscribe, click over here. One more move. Gotcha. And to see my latest video, click over here. Thanks for watching.
Can we watch it?